training series 4 races. This is the second day, and I welcome you all on behalf of the organizing chapters, JCI Palghat, JCI Nemmara, JCI Dhaka Achievers, and JCI Dhaka Achievers. I would like to welcome our distinguished guest, JCI Vice President, Mr. Hardik Kapadia, Mr. Param. Along with that, I would also like to welcome our trainer for today, Mr. Arman Khan, National Executive Vice President, JCI Bangladesh, and the fellow trainers along with him, Mr. Pritam Goswami, Mr. Santosh Kumar, and Mr. Irfan Haq. And Mihri Bhai and Varsha, you're also welcome. And along with that, all the national officers, local presidents, local officers, and local members of JCI India and JCI Bangladesh. I'd like to welcome you all. Let's have a great session. Over to you, Mehdi Bhai. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Omar Karim, the LOM President for JCI Dhaka Achievers, and thank you so much for organizing this in collaboration with JCI India. And this is the time where I think I would like to request the JCI Vice President, Senator Hardik Kapadia, to inaugurate today's session. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, my dear friend. Good morning to all of you. The President of JCI Palghat, Srijit, President of JCI Nemmara, Suresh, President of JCI Dhaka Achiever, Umar, and President of JCI Dhaka East, Wasif, and moderator Mehdi Hassan, coordinator Varsha, my national president, 2010 national president, Santosh Kumar, and today's one of the best assets of JCI Bangladesh, Arman. Namaste from India, and sabhi ko sabai ke abhibanda to all my JCI Bangladesh friends. First of all, I would like to thank to my national president 2010 when I was a lone president, Santoshji, to inviting me in this wonderful platform. And I hope this is the situation is very not too good to all of us. And then I hope all the member of JCI India, JCI member, and the member of JCI Bangladesh are the safe at this testing time. My dear friend, this is the time to think about the positive. Generally, we always think two types of thinking we are working in our life. One is a positive thinking and another is a negative thinking. Always we work on people to collaborate and make them to think positive. But today I want to share something what I thought between last 20-25 days. Now it's a time to think about the possibility thinking, or one step ahead of the positive thinking. Generally in our life, we always thinking about the worries, tension, stress, and the pressure. But this is the time that we have to think about our blessings, love, the affections, the achievement, the growth, what we get from last so many years, what we are today now. We think about that from where we started and where we are now. We have to think about that. I saw lots of people in my life whose as a comment, whose blood group is always be positive, but they are not thinking everything in a positive way. They have always a problem in every solution. I think everything they are started that thinking with the lots of negativity. If this will happen, then what we can do that. Always they are working like that. This is the time to think about the possibility thinking in a positive manner. Every day, 365 days is not the same day for all of us. Someday we got something new. Someday we lost what we have. And someday we never thought about that. So this is the life we have to manage in every manner. I want to share one sample small thing about that. Once, 15 years boy, after completing his science studies in school, he came back to his family and asked his father, "Father, it is very difficult to understand me the mathematics and the science of the plus and the minus. When the plus is equal to plus, but when a minus is plus is equal to answer is minus. And very surprisingly, minus plus minus is equal to answer plus. How it is possible that?" His father says that, "My dear son, it is very difficult to make you an elaborate in a mathematical way, but it is possible to elaborate in a social life, in our life, that what you are thinking in a positive way and your act, which is in positive way, 110% you will get the result in a positive. But your thought is always a negative, and you do a plus as an act as a positive, 110% your result will be a negative. But when your thought is a negative, but you didn't act on that negative, the result will be a positive. This is the I want to teach you. I'm not aware too much about the maths, but this is the maths of what I learned in the science in my life. So it is not compulsory that the thought is a God gift, but the thought process is our own mind. What we thought, how is we thought. If we thought in a negative way, don't react, don't act, forget about that. Negative plus negative, it's 110% become a positive. When you thought in a positive way, don't be a wait for any other, just act on that positive, 110% you will get the result positive. Generally people are thinking about the middle line, minus plus plus is equal to when they get the result in minus, and they blame the people that I do act very positively but I didn't get the result. But he never thought, yeah, thought is always a negative. So negative plus plus is equal to got a negative. So my dear friend, this is the wonderful opportunity of this webinar series, that each and every member throughout the world, we never thought about that this online training will be one of the best training nowadays. So life is very short. Just live it, love it, and enjoy in living life powerfully, living life you love. Best wishes to JCI Bangladesh and JCI India for doing a wonderful work. And I also congratulate Varsha and the host chapter and all the trainers for giving this wonderful opportunity. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Santosh ji. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. See you.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really inspiring to know all the pluses and minuses of life and how we can actually be positive irrespective of all the things that are happening with us. And so it's a great opportunity for us to have you here. I think it's taking your time out of the busy schedule for this particular training is something that really shows how much you care about JCI and how much you care about your assigned chapters, JCI Bangladesh, JCI India, and all that. So it's really, really pleasure, and thank you so much, sir, for being here with us.
Thank you very much.
With that, we will move to the trainer's profile inauguration to Varsha. But before that, a few basic rules that we will have to maintain, since everyone has access to mute them or unmute them, but request that please stay muted during the session while the speaker or the trainer is providing training. If you have questions, please direct them to the chat box or ask them after the training is over. There will be some activities that the trainer will be providing. So yeah, do those activities to make sure that we are as interactive as possible. And for any other guidance or anything, we have question answer sessions after this training session. So please direct to us for anything. Without further ado, let the floor be to Varsha Kumar. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you for the privilege. Our trainer for the day is currently holding the position of National Executive Vice President and a member of the National Governing Board of Junior Chamber International, Bangladesh. He is the founding member of Casper Foundation. It is a Bangladeshi non-profit organization which works with student leaders from local universities. Also, he is the director of Magnus Corporation Limited, an ICT solution company that works with cutting-edge solutions with the goal of bringing right technology to right people. He is also a partner in a restaurant called the Old Street Restaurant. He did his bachelor's from James Cook University in Singapore. He also completed renowned international training called Bulletproof Manager Program, and he is also the country coordinator of Let's Do It Bangladesh. With immense pleasure, let me introduce the trainer of Day 2 of 4 races, the National Executive Vice President of JCI Bangladesh for the year 2020, JC Arman Khan.
Over to you, Arman Khan.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Varsha. Hi, everyone. A very good morning. It's still morning out here. To our JCI VP, Hardik Kapadia, our JCI National President of India, Anish Matthew, our Bangladesh National President, Sarah Kamal, and 2010 National President of India, Santosh Sir. Thank you for having this brainchild of this integration of two countries session. And of course, VP Varsha and moderator, our National Training Commissioner, Mehdi. And also great thanks to our LPs over here, Suresh, Srijit, and LP Umair, LP Wasif. And thanks for joining as well, Mr. Pritham. So thanks for joining JCI India, JCI Bangladesh, and thanks to JCI Palghat and Nemmara, JCI Dhaka Achievers and JCI Dhaka East for leading from the front to initiate this series of webinars. I'm sorry I don't look like the poster boy anymore, you know, just like Justin Trudeau. Probably I started keeping the beard before him, but he is one grew better because of the climate change, I guess. So just kidding. So let's welcome you all to today's session titled Be the Bolt in Your Race. So let me just share my screen now. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Today's session, Be the Bolt in Your Race. Why we have picked Bolt? Because, you know, he's an 8-time Olympic champion and holds the 9.58 seconds record on a 100-meter race. So let me just quickly ask you one question. What is the currency of 21st century? If you can all tell me, you can maybe write down in the message. Like, since we are gonna face a recession time, maybe quickly we can say, like, what do you think is the currency for 21st century is? Right. Imagine that you're facing the last question at KBC and Mr. Amitabh Bachchan is in front of you asking you in heavy tone, like, what is the currency of 21st century? And the answer, it's not dollars, it's not rupees, it's not taka, it's ideas. It's ideas. Well done. Well done. So you can just clap for yourself, maybe. So ideas are only good as they are put into actions follows the communication of those ideas. It's no good if you don't actually put those ideas into action. Ideas come and ideas go. But you need to note them somewhere to keep those ideas for action. Well, the two hemispheres of the world have a two different approach of working on ideas. The Western feels that they need to hammer the ideas and shape it up, while the Japanese feel that their ideas need to emerge as seedlings and then they need to, nurture them around. So it's a totally different approach. I don't know if that is why we have the academy in Japan, because the leaders are nurtured in such a great way. So you need to take a call which approach you want to take for your own idea. And so ideas are often about thinking outside the box. You need to believe in those ideas of yourself. You need to believe that whatever I am going to do, it's probably means something to me and it has a solid input to it. So it's something that you need to go and believe on your own that, okay, this idea might work. Even if it doesn't work, you need to believe in it and then move ahead with the idea. And as I was saying, that ideas are often like, you need to think if it's out of the box. So maybe I'm having some marks on the slides. Can you check? Mehdi?
Yeah, okay.
Is anyone using the whiteboard, something like that? Because I'm having a mark on the slides.
I think it's the moving of the mouse, but it should be okay. I think it goes off after a while.
You please turn off the annotation from the host setting. Sir.
Okay. So can we really think out of the box? That is one thing we need to understand. Okay. We can have a lot of ideas, but are those really out of the world or not? That we need to figure it out. I'm actually putting these two images, like you can think, if I ask you what an alien looks like, someone from America would answer like it's blue in color with big eyes, big ears, and with one nose, one mouth maybe. But it was already thought of maybe 6 years ago. Maybe there is some height adjustment, but it still looks almost the same. It's still the blue color, big eyes. We can't think of anything besides that. Like if you think about alien, we think about, okay, it must have 2 eyes, 1 nose. It can have something else, but do we actually practice that thinking out of the box? How do we do that? So while vision, on the other hand, is more about destroying the old box and completely inventing a new one. I'm sure everyone watched Walt Disney growing up. We still watch it. And this is a very famous Walt Disney theme park. Well, just want to share a short story of the vision of Mr. Walt Disney. He was, the monument you see over here, he was actually standing there when they actually laid the foundation for setting up this theme park. But he couldn't live that long to see the completion of this theme park. When it was inaugurated by the US president. And Mrs. Disney was just there sitting. And Mr. President of US, he was mentioning like, it's a wonderful day that we are having this inauguration ceremony. We wish Mr. Walt Disney was alive to see all these. And he looked at Mrs. Disney, and she didn't seem that happy with the comment. So after the program, he went and asked Mrs. Disney, like, Mrs. Disney, was it something that I've said that didn't make you happy or anything? What Mr. Disney replied to the US President, like, Mr. President, you mentioned that you wish that Mr. Disney was here to see all of this. Well, it's his vision. He has seen it before any of us. He has seen it before any of us. That's why we could create it. So the vision lived through the Disney parks of Mr. Walt Disney. So I believe you all know who Kim Kardashian is. If you don't know, you can Google, and trust me, you won't regret. So if you thought that Kim made all that happen without a vision, you're wrong. When she articulated a strong vision and also sparked others like her mother, her sisters to execute it. Vision is just like your finishing line of the race. You need to focus. When a sprinter goes on a race, he doesn't look at the audience. He doesn't look where the audience is, where the camera is. He doesn't look at the sideline competitors. Only thing he looks at is the finishing line. That's why we have chose Usain Bolt as today's theme of the session. You need to look into that and follow your purpose. If you're running with your purpose, if you're not running with your purpose, you're not running with your own goal. You're running with someone else's. You need to find out your own why. No matter in which capacity you're working, you need to understand what is my purpose is. That is very important. That's why we have job roles. That's why we have job descriptions. You need to understand those things very well. Why am I doing this? What am I supposed to do? And no matter what, you need to be focused on your purpose. And there's an amazing book written by Simon Sinek. He's a very renowned writer. His book is called Start With Why. It gives an in-depth understanding of the purpose. Then you need to involve everyone. Involve everyone in the sense that you need to welcome great ideas from everyone. You must know that success is a team sport. And more than ever, I need to have flow of ideas coming from every corner. The other day, I was actually watching a video of Sachin Tendulkar, and he was telling, like, he was maybe after a game, he was staying in a hotel, and the room service boy came to him and was telling, like, sir, I think you have a problem in playing the shots with the elbow guard. Whenever you're playing without the elbow guard, you swing the bat in a different way. With the elbow guard, you swing in a different way. And Sachin immediately realized that it is indeed a problem that he is facing. So he redesigned his whole elbow guard, and then he started playing better, performing better. So he even like anyone can actually get ideas from anywhere. So you need to have that flow coming in all the time.
Arman, you're not audible. Sorry, the trainer's connection went away. He's connecting back in few seconds.
Hi, I'm so sorry about that. I just had a power failure over here.
Understandable.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, understandable. It's raining cats and dogs everywhere in Dhaka. So.
Yeah, so that's why I had a backup connection just in case. So I'm just sharing the slide again.
Yeah, please.
So as I was saying, that you need to encourage the dialogue up and down the ladder, and that sometimes we feel that we know the best and we can go about it, but not always actually we know everything. So we need to have an open mind. We need to have that open understanding to welcome the ideas. It is said that feedback is the breakfast for the champions, and there's a reason for that. Kate Blanchard said in his book, in 1 Minute Manager, that feedback is the breakfast for for champions. Because if you are close-minded, you don't need any ideas, you don't welcome any ideas, then you don't actually grow yourself. Yesterday, Pritham sir was saying in his session, like, ego is something that you need to let go. Otherwise, you won't be growing. You can't grow if your ego is there holding you back. So we need to encourage dialogue up and down. And if you want to know about your company, what's going on inside the organization, ask the T-boy. Go and ask the T-boy. He knows more what's going on, more than your CXOs. Trust me on that. And you need to assess every situation. Well, there will be try and error. There will be try and error in doing stuff, but that is what will make you a seasoned professional. You construct several scenarios based on different outcomes and see which one works. Tata once said that you take a decision and then you make it right. So don't be afraid. You know, there will be different outcomes, but you need to be ready for that. If you want to build strong willpower, start by picking an activity, maybe like going to gym, or maybe like gardening, reading a book, like this webinar, like networking with each other, maybe playing guitar, or even maybe spending family time. A lot of people are out there who's very busy, and maybe you can actually find time to find some time to spend with the family. And even maybe cooking as well. In I think this habit, if you can grow, and like you can pick any activity from here, whichever fits your life, your goals, anything that requires you to override an impulse or desire again and again, and add this activity to your daily routine for 21 days. That will form a habit. And I believe staying home during this lockdown is the best time to grow some habit. Well, actually, in JCI Bangladesh, we have some members. They formed a home quarantine cooking page, and every other day they actually post pictures of cooking stuff. A lot of people are actually growing some habit of cooking, even our national president as well. We're just waiting to burst into her house once the lockdown is over to have some good food. So, as long as you feel positive about it, just go for it. Just grow a habit, and you can maybe thank me later. All right? So you need to focus. You need to focus into make things happen in whichever roles you're playing. Maybe you are an executive or like an implementer. You need to learn the tools and tactics of the things that your managers tell you to or execute a job. You need to understand the process of how to do this. That's the part where you actually accelerate in the race. You need to solve day-to-day problems. And if you're a manager, you need to understand like which method is going to work for your company or your department, and how do you manage this value stream? Like you may have a supply chain to manage. How do you make it more efficient? Stuff like that. If you're a project manager, how do you review the team, and which are the areas you need to work on to make the team perform better? If you're a leader, definitely the vision for the future is something that you need to make a very good impact on for your managers and the other executives to work on. Warren Buffett has, I think, over 30 companies, or maybe more. But every year, before the year starts, he actually writes a letter to all the CEO of his 30 companies. And he writes about his vision for the year. That's the only communication he has over the year with the CEOs. He relays his vision to all the CEOs so that they can execute. They know which are the priorities to work on. And based on that, they make their team work. And their work is to encourage the team to reach those goals. There's a famous book by Malcolm Gladwell, one of my favorite writers. He also wrote the other two books called The Tipping Point and The Blink. Malcolm highlights in outliers, like if you put 10,000 hours amount of practice on a certain quality or a certain skill, you attain a mastery on that subject. It can be maybe dancing. It can be maybe being a neurosurgeon. It can be singing. It can be playing games. So if you name, if you find out, if you research, you will see those who have put those 10,000 hours of practice has attained the mastery. In dancing, if you go and see Michael Jackson's legacy, it's there. I have shared Saqib Al-Hasan's picture over here. He has done intensive training throughout his career and has become the all-rounder, best all-rounder in the world with such dedication. So, exercise time. Mehdi, are you there? This is going to be a JCI moment of truth. So to see if you have the speed of Bolt, I'll give you 2 minutes. When I will give you a go ahead, you go and pick any item with a JCI logo and flash it in front of your screen. You pick any item with a JCI logo and flash it on your screen. Let me see if you have picked up the speed of the Bolt. So at the time of my countdown, you pick and flash it on the screen, right? 3, 2, 1. You pick any item with JCI logo and flash it on the screen. It can be a pen, it can be something, just flash it on the screen with a JCI logo. It's an exercise, come on, let's do it. 2 minutes. Find something with JCI logo.
Here you go, Mr. Arman.
Yes, I have one.
Already on.
I have one.
All right, maybe you can take a snap of this. Everyone flashing the JCI logo. Let me just put my one as well. Are you all ready?
That's mine.
You can all flash it on and place it on the screen.
Do you want to share the screen?
Yeah. You all.
Oh, okay.
Turn on the camera and flash a JCI logo. Any item with the JCI logo. Just a quick exercise. All right, Mehdi, screenshot taken?
Yeah, bhai.
Okay, great. So just a quick exercise it was. So now this is a very interesting model. It's called GROW. And what we see over here is your goal, your reality, your options, and your way forward, right? So in this model, we try to understand, like under the goal, we try to understand like what is the issue you want to tackle. In the long term, what is your goal related to this issue? And what is the time frame of this goal? And what intermediary steps are you trying to take during this time frame? In the reality, we try to understand the present situation. Let's say this situation that we are into right now. Find out the more detail of this situation, what we can do about it, and how great or how bad is your concern about it. Who is affected by this situation? How much control do you personally have over the outcome? You look into different options, right? What are the different ways you could approach this issue? What else could you do? Or what would you do even if you had more time or even a larger budget? or even if you have been the boss or on this situation of your own? Or what would you could start again with a clean slate or with a new team? And many of us are actually facing this kind of options, like those who are running business. How do we do it? How do we keep this size of the business, or do we divert it to something else? Do we reduce the size of the team? Do we reduce the size of the business, or we totally go opt for something else? What do we do about this business, right? And to move forward, what options do we choose? What is going to be our next steps? And what extent do we actually meet our objectives? Or the most important thing is, like, when we are actually balancing whether we're going to run the business or we're going to keep it or we're going to close it down, you face a lot of challenges. And one of the challenges that you need to understand that you may also face, or you must come across some exit strategy. You may think, like, maybe I should get out of the business now. Maybe I will sell it off for safety. Exit strategy is not the solution, always. Exit strategy is not the solution always. You need to have a commitment strategy to move forward, to move ahead. You need to have a commitment strategy. Now, if you want to think better, I will give you some colorful hats right now. And like I said, if you have a vision, most importantly, you need to put it into action. Edward de Bono, a very famous psychologist who taught both in Harvard and Oxford, he came up with this concept of 6 thinking hats. If you want to accelerate from here, you need to understand which approach you want to take. In other words, which hat you should be wearing. So if you look at the slides over here, there are 6 thinking hats, 6 color hats. And if you look at the white hat over here at the left in middle, white hat is mostly concerned about the objective, the facts, the figures, right? The red hat, on the other hand, got a more emotional view. He has a bit of fears, he has got more feelings, you know, he has a bit of intuition, and that's something a bit more pessimistic. I won't say more pessimistic actually, he's more emotional actually. While the black hat is actually more pessimistic, he always tries to find out the weakness in an idea. He finds out the potential problems, what are the obstacles. Before anything starts, he says, no, this cannot happen, this is a problem, right? We do see this kind of people, right, in our life that says, no, this won't work. Before anything, they're going to say no. Even before starting a statement, they will say no. And then they will start the statement. So those are black hats. Yellow hat indicates creativity, indicates new ideas, and he is very positive, he's very optimistic, and that is the hat that we should all be wearing right now. That is the hat we should be wearing, the optimistic hat during this situation. And then there is the green hat, which indicates creativity, new ideas, and it gives you alternative solutions to think about. That is the hat you need to wear when you come down of the lockdown and need to find different ways of doing things. That's something that you need to explore. That's your exploration hat. So that is something. And blue hat, if you see the blue hat is much more organized. Blue hat is much more in control. He has an organized way of thinking process. He used the other hats. So the question is, which hat you'll be wearing? You know, which hat you should be wearing? Well, it's your wardrobe. Just pick any hat you want to wear. The different situation demands for different hat. So just pick your hat when the time comes. And even though you're thinking of the way of how to approach with different ways of wearing different hat, you need to have a successful system thinking ways. And I'm just going to share simple steps of successful system thinking. Let's say the first step is explore situation. You can be in different kind of situation. You can be in different complex situation. You need to understand every dynamics of every situation, and you need to realize the situation, how bad or how good, or what you're going to do about it. That's something it's very important for you. And then you describe the situation to yourself, and then you can find a model to work it out. You can build your own models which fits your system to work on. I personally find you can actually find a lot of models over there in the internet that works for you. Personally, I work with a model called PDCA. It's like you plan, you do, you check, you act. So that's the kind of a model I follow normally. And then you compare your current model to different scenarios. What if I use this model in this scenario? Will it work? Not necessarily every one model will fit all. So you need to work it out. And you need to find out that how to make potential improvements. How to make those potential improvements. How to you know, during the course of acting, you can understand like which are the areas you need to improve, and you see, you perform, you act on those. If you find it's giving positive result, you repeat the process, you repeat the process. So I'm going to actually share a story of two brothers from this industry of Bangladesh. And I think many of our Bangladeshi fellows over here know them very well. And I'm just going to share a story about how did they thrive and recover in their own race and created a milestone. So the one on the above picture is called Iqbal Kader with the spec, and the below with the spec is known as Kamal Kader. So they are both Wharton graduates, and they had a very unique way of doing things. Iqbal Kader, he had a great idea of setting up a telecom operator in Bangladesh, but he didn't have the money to do so. He went here, he went there, all the red tapes. He wasn't successful. He couldn't do what he wanted. At that time, when he was actually exploring this opportunity, there was only one telecom operator in Bangladesh, and which was very city-centric. They used to sell a bar phone at over $1,000 price, and it was not affordable to everyone. What Iqbal Kader did, he actually went to Dr. Yunus of Grameen Bank. Yesterday, Pritam sir has mentioned about Dr. Yunus, right? So I guess you all know. He's a Nobel laureate. Dr. Yunus was the chairman of Grameen Bank at that time. Dr. Yunus runs a social business network, and he had a very brilliant idea. He took the idea to Dr. Yunus and told him, look, I want to reach out with hand all of Bangladesh. I want to spread the network all of Bangladesh. Can we do that? And Dr. Yunus, first of all, he thought this idea is not going to happen. Then he explained how it's going to work, how it can be transformed into a social business enterprise. So the name derived from Grameen Bank to Grameen Phone. It's a Telenor concern. So what Iqbal Kadir did, he actually used the total network system of the microbusiness structure of Grameen Bank and put the idea and the business on top of that. At a go, he was all over Bangladesh. He launched on the Independence Day of Bangladesh, on the Victory Day of Bangladesh on 26th March. And as you all know that Bangladesh is a Silicon Valley for social business, the network of NGOs of Grameen Bank is all over Bangladesh in every corner. And they reached out very drastic. Till date, they're still the #1 in the telecom sector. So Iqbal Kadir placed the idea on Dr. Yunus' table, how to make it into a viable business, and he used this whole network of Grameen Bank to make it feasible. Same way, Kamal Kadir, he also had a great idea of mobile money. He approached BRAC, and BRAC, being a great NGO, they're the largest NGO in the world, and also their patron is one of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation as well. They actually had a great plan to provide a financial transaction platform for the poor people. So Kamal Kadir, again, he used this network system of microbusiness structure of BRAC, which is all throughout in the country, and used this platform to initiate this financial structure of business. So these two brothers, Kadir brothers, I call them, that's the name. So they came up with a brilliant idea, and how it's not a simple way, but you need to understand which way the idea can work and which way it can reach out to the masses of the people. And they have taken a very good leverage of this social business structure, which not only helped the economy of the country, it helped the people's lives as well. And today, Bikash has almost 3 crore active customers, and they have over 40,000 crore taka transactions every month. So it's a very crucial time we are passing, and we need to understand how do we survive this downturn. The most positive thing over here is if you look at the quote of Charles Darwin, when he said that it's not the strongest of the species that survives, not the most intelligent, but the most responsive to change. So as a human, we are most responsive to change, and to change is to improve. So we need to understand how we can actually adapt to change. And I'll just share simple 7 steps if we can work on these steps to survive during this downturn. For strategy, you need to complete priorities of cost, quality, time, and flexibility. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. He runs a software company of over 100 developers. What he found during this lockdown period, that his workers or his employees have become much more efficient working from home. They have become much more productive working from home, much more responsive. And he thought, then why am I actually putting up a huge place for them to work at? Might as well they can work from home, and it will cut down my cost for rent, and also at the same time I can increase the level of productivity of my employees. So right after the lockdown, he's going to cut down on this space, on his office space. He's going to find out which are the employees that are comfortable working from home, are productive, let them work from home. That saves on the conveyance, that saves on the energy, that saves on his for him on his space. Secondly, you need to streamline your cash cows. If you have some investments, you need to understand which are the ones you need to streamline. If you have already invested in stock, something like that, it's best not to invest anymore at the moment. Just see what can be done. And also, like, if you need to focus on your clients, it's very difficult to actually find new clients at the moment during this period. Unless you are coming with a new product, it's very difficult to find new client at this moment. So strengthen your client focus, your existing ones. You focus on the 20% of your existing clients. Maybe they will give you the 80% of the business in coming days. They will be more loyal towards you. They will give you the kind of business that you need to survive during this time. It can increase your revenue stream. You can increase your revenue area. You can find out new opportunities of work. Don't have this mindset, okay, I do this business and I will only do this. Now is not the time. You need to be more flexible with this coming downturn. You need to be more flexible to adaptability. How are you going to do stuff? So you need to really, you know, find out other revenue areas if you have to. Then manage your money. You need to have control of your expenses. It's not something that you don't know, but you need to be told again and again and again. I even tell that to myself, you know, that this is the time you need to curb on your expenses. This is the time that you need to cut down on your lifestyle. I always tell this story to my friends, or even in some sessions as well. Like Warren Buffett, he lives in a house which he bought, I think, the time he got married, and he still lives in the same house. With wealth, he didn't improve, or he didn't got a bigger house or something like that. He just improved the way of doing business, or improved the way of doing work in philanthropic areas, but his lifestyle has pretty much been the same. He still go to McDonald's, he still has his Big Mac and stuff. So that's something that we need to really understand. It helps you, if you have this kind of a habit, it helps you to survive even in any kind of crisis. Develop profitable new product or services. I can give a very example of mine. We are in the IT business, and we are thinking like, now is the time, more than the product, we need to develop new kind of services in helping people. We need to provide more digital solutions so that you can ease the nature of the business of the people. So those are the areas that we need to understand how we can impoverish. Also remember the basics of finance and leadership. So we are almost at the very end. So I just want to ask you, are you feeling good about yourself? Maybe you can just give a thumbs up over here. I can see the message. If you can tell me if you're feeling good, just maybe you can give a thumbs up. Are you feeling good about yourself? It is important that you feel good about yourself. You know why? Because only when you feel good about yourself, you can provide positive results. You can provide positive results. Well, my friends, there is no silver bullet to surviving a downturn. It is a time for common sense, for energy, and for calmness. The survival of the fittest depends on the adaptation. So be prepared. And before I end this slide, I would actually like to read out a short story to you all. And the story goes like this. Every morning in Africa, a gazelle wakes up and it knows it must outrun the fastest lion or it will be killed. Every morning in Africa, a lion wakes up and knows it must run faster than the slowest gazelle or it will starve. It does not matter whether you're a lion or a gazelle. When the sun comes up, you better be running. So, thank you very much. We have reached the finishing line, and I really hope that you have got some takeouts from here. So stay safe, everyone. Over to you, moderator.
Thank you so much, Bhai. I think it was a wonderful session. If you could just stop sharing, yeah, great. And I really like the ending. No matter who you are or what you are, it's important that you keep on running in order to survive. I think that's totally sums up the entire session and tells us like you need to run. But more importantly, the entire session also tells us when we are planning to running, there should be a process of running. We just can't run like in different directions. A proper process, making sure that we are running so that we survive properly. So with that, we move to the question answer session. And if people have questions, you can direct it in the chat group or you can just raise your hand and we'll definitely be taking your question. Right, so the first question comes from Imtiaz Chaudhary. Imtiaz Chaudhary, please direct your question to the trainer.
Hello everyone. Dear Arman Bhai, the session was wonderful and your example from so many books and sites, it was amazing. So my question is, you gave us an example from De Bono, the 6 thinking hats. Huh? So shall anyone wear all 6 at a time or he or she needs to pick one?
Well, if we're in the same situation all the time, I don't think that is quite natural. So it's totally up to you. If you feel that there is a doubt in a situation, you put on the red hat, or if you feel that no, I need to do something different, you put a green hat. So it's different situation demands for different hat actually.
Bhaiya, the black hat was there. There was all negative. So in negative situations, shall I wear the black hat to fight those
No, in this situation, you should wear the yellow hat, the most positive one, and stay positive all the time.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Also switch to the green hat to see how can we do things differently in this situation. But the blue hat, if you answer your question, the blue hat is actually comprised of all the, it takes the best of all the hats actually.
Okay, bhai, thank you very much. So we would like to have that slide, or you have something to share with us.
Sure, sure.
Others looking forward to your questions.
Do we have any more questions from here?
Right. So we have one question from Sunil Gangavani. Mr. Sunil, please direct your question.
Yeah, more than a question, I would like to add something. In the previous, someone asked, what if you have negative, should we add the black hat? So my input is not about when you are in negative, put the black hat, but when you would like to do something, when you are in the new initiative, or when you would like to do something first time or something in the business or profession, then wear the black hat and identify what are the negative points, so you can remove that before going for the positive task. So when you explore something, wear the black hat, check all the negative things which may happen, and get the solution before acting upon that. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Also, you can also wear the red hat to listen to your gut feeling maybe as well.
Yes, yes.
The next question we have is from Tarif Khan, local director of JCI Dhaka. So Tarif Khan, please direct your question.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Dear Arman Bhai, thank you so very much for making this morning very productive one, I would say. Very nice session. My question is, the session as is titled, Be the Bolt in Your Race. What one activity you have done in your life to make this bold in your race? Can you please share with us? Thank you.
Very interesting question, Tarif. And actually, there were many proposals from my wife, but I actually was the one who actually won the race and got married. That's one race I won. And in my career, actually, I actually had a lot of ups and downs in my career. But there are two areas in two sectors where I've actually accelerated pretty well. The one is in my IT industry, and in just 3-4 years, we actually became quite a leading company. And also, like in my JCI career as well, I've started in 2013, and now I'm the National Executive Vice President. So I believe that's also where I have run like a bolt in my JCI career as well.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much, Arman. I'm assuming you're the gazelle in your marriage, and Bhabhi is the lion. So yeah, run, run, Arman, run, Arman, run.
You can connect. I can understand.
Right. So the next question is we have from Umair Karim. Umair, please direct your question.
Hello, Arman Bhai. Excellent session. In the end of your presentation, you had shared that what we can do during this crisis moments in terms of financial planning or in terms of business planning. But many of the businesses couldn't plan well for this time, since it is an unwanted situation. And even many of us, even in our personal lives who are having jobs, are facing this financial crisis or many of the crises of this sort. So what is your suggestion for the people who couldn't plan well for this situation, and what we can take out from this? Thank you.
Thanks, Umar. Have you ever seen how that before he actually makes the hand, it take few steps back. So now it's time we actually take few steps back and then actually jump and achieve our goal. So this is the time where we need to actually hold back. We need to actually sit back tight. There's a famous book called The Art of War by Suzu. He's a very famous writer of Art of God in China. He has mentioned in his book once that even by doing nothing, actually, that sometimes you can defend yourself. You know, you can actually wait for a better result. So I think this is the time where actually you can actually just stay there, plan out, stay calm. You know, watch out for your industry colleagues, watch out for your team members, and to run the business, whichever business you are in, try to find the limited possibility or how much you can actually do about it, whether it can be moved to a digital platform, whether it can be done in a very restricted manner. That's something that you need to actually understand. Thank you. Have I answered your question?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any more questions? If none, I have a question around her.
Sure.
Right. So as we all know, like in life, if I want to win the race, there are three steps. One is either I can go slow and steady and win the race, or I can run like a Usain Bolt and win the race, or at times, as you just explained, that I have to sit tight on the gallery and see how the game is being played and just take a step back and see how things are happening. Everyone knows that there are three steps. The problem that comes in is we don't really get to understand which step to take when. I think that's where the problem comes in. Like, when do we actually sit? When do we run? Or when do we actually go slow? So how do we decide in life for every race that there exists, which step to take when? And is there any sort of mechanism to understand this, or does it just depends on how we feel about it?
Like in any race, you start, then you actually take a drive, you recover, and you actually then decelerate. That's how the race goes. So it's for you to understand, like if you're, let's say in your career, if you're working too much, giving too much hours in your work, you may be earning money, getting great results. As opportunity cost, you may actually give up a lot of your family time. So that's where you need to actually slow down, balance it out. It's all about balancing it out. But it's not the race that you're going to take, the speed. It's the finishing line that matters, if you have seen it or not. Whether the vision to see the finishing line, whether you know, okay, even if I go slow a bit, I know I can recover, I can drive, I can accelerate and pass the phase and reach my finishing line. That's what you intend to know. That's what you intend to understand. Even the tortoise knew the finishing line, and he went slowly. The rabbit, on the other hand, his focus was on the tortoise, not on the finishing line. So that's why he slept on the way, and the tortoise reached the finishing line. So I hope that answers, Mehdi.
Yeah, so the target should be the finishing line, not our competitors. So I think that's a great learning for me, myself as well, because most of the time what we do is focus on competitors, focus on people who are with us on the race, and not focus on what we actually want to achieve. So I think, yeah, that's how things should be. We're waiting for any more questions. If none, we will move to the closing part, and I would request the local president of JCI Nemmara, Suresh Anantharaman, to give the vote of thanks to everyone.
Thank you for the privilege, Mehdi. I would like to thank our Vice President, JCI Senator Hardik Kapadia, to in a training session, as well as to the trainers. It's a very good section, sir. It's a hats off to you because very digestive section. JC Amran Khan, sir, he is the National Vice President, JCI Bangladesh National Government Board. As well as I just would like to thank Mehdi Hussain, our mentor, moderator. As well as I thank to past National President Santosh sir, and JCI Senator Varsha S. Kumar for our coordinator, training coordinator, who is helping us to conduct the training for 4 pillars: JCI Dhaka Achievers, Ummir Karim, JCI Dhaka East Wasif Wahid, and JCI Palghat President Srijit Nair. Also all participants, as well as the local president of Bangladesh and JCI India. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. With that, we end today's session. We have 2 more sessions coming up in the upcoming weekend, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank Arman Bhaiya for a wonderful session.
Thank you so much, Mehdi, and you have been a fantastic moderator. Just to all the participants, 2 more exciting sessions coming in next week by our National GSC Irfan Haq, and of course our Santosh sir. So moderator will give you more details. Thank you.
Yeah, so stay in touch, and obviously we will connect through emails and everything else. Thank you very much, and I think it's a good afternoon to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.